So we're going to talk about some rate problems, and then tomorrow we'll talk about work problems. What does rate mean, guys? Speed, right? Yeah. So we're dealing with problems that have to do with how fast something happens. It deals with questions like, say a car is going 60 miles an hour, how long will it take to go 365 miles or something like that? So that's what we're going to be looking at today. The reason we're doing this is because it pertains to rational expressions a little bit in the way that we're going to set it up. All right, so go ahead and write down number 1, please. Let's read the problem. So number 1 says, it takes Alice 4 minutes to draw 3 pictures. How long would it take her to draw 5? Well, what we're going to do is we're going to set up a ratio here. Okay. It takes her 4 minutes to draw 3 pictures. That means she's doing 3 pictures for every 4 minutes. We can write the word picture here in minutes so that we know where we're at. 3 pictures for 4 minutes. Now, a question might come up at this point is, how do you know which one goes on the top or the bottom? Today it doesn't really matter. However, I will tell you guys in the future, particularly for the problems we're doing next time, time should be on the bottom. Okay? So that's what we're going to do, is we're going to keep time on the bottom. So 3 pictures for 4 minutes. You're making a ratio. Now, the other fraction they're giving us has only one number in it. It says, how long would it take her to draw 5 pictures, right? So where do you think that 5 is going to go in my other fraction? It should go on the top, right? Now the thing that I don't know is her time, right? So what do you think I'm going to put down there? You're going to put an X down there. That's what we don't know. Now here's the thing. Did it say she's changing her speed? No. She's still doing 3 pictures every 4 minutes. That's her speed. So how long would it take to do 5? Well, her speeds, this is her speed, and this is her speed. It doesn't matter where she's doing 3 pictures or 5 pictures, right? She's still going the same speed. So these 2 fractions need to be the same because those fractions represent her speed. So we're just going to solve this fraction equation here. So notice we have a rational equation. Fractions with letters in them, right? So the first thing we need to do is factor the denominators, right, and make a match. So the 4 breaks down into what? 2 times 2. So what does the left side need here? The left side needs an X on the top and bottom to make the bottoms match. And what does the right side need? It needs 2 2's. Now, they both have the same, right? And when you have an equation, the same thing on both sides, what do? Drop the denominator, right? So now here's what I'm left with. 3x equals 5 times 2 times 2 is 20. And then you divide, and you'll get x equals 20/3. Now what was this in? Was this in hours or minutes or what? We were dealing with minutes. So this is 20/3 of a minute. Now, for our quiz and test and stuff, you can leave your answer like that. But let's think in real life. How many minutes is that? 20/3. How many minutes is that?
37.
How would you get 7 from that? How much? 1.3? There's going to be a 0.3 in there. How are we getting these numbers? Tell me what to do. You divide the top by the bottom. How many times does 3 go into 20? Well, let's see. If I've got 20/3, let's see how many thirds there are. 3 goes into 20 about 6 times to make 18 with 2 left over. So basically it's going to be 6 2/3 of a minute. So a little bit more than 6 minutes. Actually, it's pretty darn close to 7 minutes. So that's about how long it would take her. However, like I said, for our test, you guys can leave your answer like this. Okay? Let's go ahead and write down number 2, please. Okay, so on number 2 here, guys, it says a car goes 50 miles per hour. How long would it take that car to go 110 miles? We have a problem. Does somebody see the problem that we're seeing here? Good. It's telling us it gives us two numbers, right? The other one gave us 3. We know that when we have that fraction equal to a fraction, we should have 4 numbers, and one of them is an x, right? But we only have 2 numbers here. Anybody got a solution for that? 1. What is 1? 1 what? There you go. It's hidden in there. Look at the words here. 50 miles per hour. It's giving you 2 numbers there. 50 what? Miles. 50 miles. And how many hours? 1 hour. That means you're going 50 miles in 1 hour. So there's a hidden number in that miles per hour piece. Okay? Now let's go ahead and take a look at the other one. The second part of the sentence says, how long would it take that car to go 110 miles? So where's the 110 going to go? It's going to go on the top because you notice how we have miles on the top over here? Well, we need to have miles on the top over here also. They need to match. If they don't match, you're going to have a problem. So what don't I know? The x. How long that's going to take. Okay? So let's go ahead and solve this. And by the way, if you don't want to solve the answer in hours, you could do it in minutes. Instead of putting 1 hour, what could we put down here? You could put 60 minutes. And for most of our purposes, that would actually be more practical. That way, if you get a decimal, you can get a more precise answer. All right, let's go ahead and work this out. This side, neither of the bottoms can be factored, so we're just going to start by multiplying this side by an x and this side by a 1, right? So now they both have a 1x on the bottom. You don't need the h, that's just units, so we'll ignore those. So they both have a 1x on the bottom. Drop it. So I've got 50x equals 110. Divide both sides by 50, and we get x equals 11/5 if you reduce that, which is about 2.2 hours. Since I was doing hours, it'd be about 2.2 hours. And does that make sense? I mean, if you're going 50 miles every hour, 110 is twice as much as 50, right? So it should take about twice as much as 1 hour, which is about 2 hours-ish. So there's our final answer. So here's some for you. Okay, guys, here's your answers.